So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along for the ABR round 4 of the Tier 1 Championship, this 11 race calendar. You join us for the British Grand Prix at the iconic Silverstone, which should be celebrating its anniversary this year as hosting the first Grand Prix event. What are we going to get today? We're going to get some action-packed racing. This racetrack really offers some really diverse overtaking opportunities. You can really follow through this circuit. It's really flowing, and it's going to throw up for a great race. These boys, this pack is so tightly covered in terms of pace. It's really going to throw up an epic one around here. It's one of my favourites in terms of to race around, to watch, to spectate. We go here every year, and we've got typical Silverstone conditions today. We've got a nice bit of rain. Is it heavy rain? Is it light rain? Nonetheless, it's rain. What's it looking like for the rest of the weekend? That's going to play a key part in this weekend. Are the guys going to go for a full wet setup if there is a dry race? Of course they're not. So it's really going to be interesting. So if you are privy to the weather conditions for this Grand Prix, please do drop a comment into the Twitch chat. We'd love to hear from you. But going into this championship, after the first few rounds have already taken place, we've got Stubbsy and Buraps currently leading this fight for the championship on 42 points. Then just behind we've got Oxdes on 36, then Callum on 33, along with PWR Dan. Then we've got Yaunif on 32 points, Bowen on 22, and then through the grid there. So a really good lightning out the start block for Stubbsy and Buraps, with Oxdes close on the heels there. Anyone's to play for this championship at the front of the order. We've had 3 rounds already in this championship. We've had the Canadian, French and Austrian Grand Prix. Now we're heading into the British. After this we'll be going on to the German Grand Prix. I do believe we've got a few cars going out to track, which currently on the intermediate tyre. So we're just going to ride along with Callum for these opening few laps. I will be taking some short breaks throughout this broadcast, ladies and gents. It is myself isolated, and I'm enjoying a beer or two, so I will need to take a few comfort breaks like yourselves. Unfortunately for the drivers, they're going to have to get their head down for the duration and get on with business. And these conditions are going to throw up a real mix. So yeah, if you know about the weather forecast, do drop a comment. I'll just be opening the Twitch stream now so I can interact with you as well. So do get your comments there involved. But yeah, looking like a good weekend. Will this session remain wet? We've got quite a few cars in the pit still, so it would indicate to me that conditions will hopefully improve, or it might be a case of they're hoping that everyone else will go out and clean up the track, get a bit of a racing line on, and yeah, clean the track up for them. So it's going to be tricky conditions through Silverstone, especially for this high-speed section coming down the back hanger straight. I've witnessed the race a few times up on the left from here. Great place to see overtaken action going down this DRS enabled point here, going into this braking zone. You can really get a move on through this section. So we've got quite a few cars coming out the pits now, testing conditions, which are another indication that probably going to have wet conditions for the duration of this session. Remember, we're running the full qualifying as well, so we've got Q1, Q2 and Q3. We've only got 17 in this, so it means less people to be eliminated in this first section, so don't take as much risk. That will be the key message so far. But yeah, quite a few cars out on track. Will we see any lap times? We've got Callum currently on a lap. Let's get some stats up on the screen for you. Really got to be patient here, getting on the throttle, get on it as early as you can, but don't let go of it at the same time. Don't want to break traction, don't want to slide the tyre across the track, overheat it. It's the last thing you want to do. Keeping it nice and planted through there. Got another car, Oxley's just pulling over nicely there. No one yet to set a lap time, but they'll be shortly flooding in, I'm sure. So braking down into Stowe here, 4th gear, easy on the throttle, opening it up on the exit there, real tricky braking there, Only you can see trail braking into the corner nicely. Short shift here, yeah, short shift up into third, get the traction on, round the final corner and across the line. That's going to be a 140.275, and then we've got 1010. He's just gone faster with a 140.035. So a good lap for him there, early banker. So it looks like rain is here to stay for the time being. Who else is currently on that? No, it's currently on the out lap, just winding one up. Bowen looks like he's giving everything at this point. Really using all the curves still. Struggling, dropping down the fourth there. Just getting the power quite nicely though. Coming down into sector 3. Stubbsy just pulled over to the side of the track. Coming through Stowe. He's just winding up this lap. Just getting to grips with the circuit at the minute. And we've got Kimi who's gone fastest with a 1:39.201. Out 8 temps on the rest of the field so far. Pretty good lap there. We've got OTR Jeremy 140.325, and Lethal's just popped up with a 149. So still tight margins even in these tricky conditions. Currently your order for Q1 is Kimi, Buraps, 1010, Callum, Jerem. Oh, that's all mixed up. Kimi's gone faster now. Oxley's just popped up into third, sorry, with a 1:39.6. We've still got, Dan's gone back into the pits. He needs to get out, get some laps done. Got Yalnif up into P3 now with a 1:39.247. We've got the top 3 there, all on 1:39.2s. Really tight margins, and these are opening phases of the qualifying session. Sticks had a poor lap of 1:47. Sure, we'll go again. I'm gonna put a few laps in. I think we've got it's probably invalidated there. Right on board with Ganjowiz. Breaking up into Brooklands, coming through Luffield. You want to get on the power really early through there, but in these wet conditions, just don't risk it. Get in a straight line, put the hammer down. Coming through the old start finish. It's this lovely corner in the dry anyway, Cops. So it's not nice at all at this minute in time. Smooth, undramatic there, that's what you want in these conditions. Now get on that power. We've got yellow flag in sector 2. Maybe a car just running slow. Looks like no one stopped. Seeing a lot of cars pit now. They're going to probably put on a fresh Inter, depending on if the race is going to be where you might want to save that. But as he comes up to the line now, Ganjowiz has gone 5th with a 1:39.6. So the field is really tightly packed at the minute, going all the way down to about 11th place. The other guys that seem to have had a few scrappy laps, I'm sure they're going to go out and get a clean one in. So who's next out on our flyer? So yet to set a time is Vitinho. Currently down in 15th. Remember, there's less danger in this session, of course, of getting eliminated because there's only 17 runners. But at the same time, you don't want to leave it to the last minute. We've currently got 8 minutes, 53 seconds remaining of this session. Hope you all joined into the not Grand Prix this evening. It was a thoroughly good one around Monaco. They did have damage off, which I thought was, you know, like sort of defeats the objective of this game. And we've got Mystic, who's gone fastest with a 1:38.869. He's really smashed it with that lap there, and he's set a new benchmark for everyone else. And yeah, really broken the trend. Is the track improving, or is it just a blistering lap from Mystic? Either way, a great lap, and yeah, it's going to be all over the place towards the end of the session, but probably the top 6 probably looking safe so far. Depends if the track evolves towards the end of this session. Coming up to the line now, we've got Vintinho. Runs a bit wide through the final corner, but he's now gone fastest with a 1:38.4. Is that a sign of things to come? We've got Dan currently on the outlap. He needs to set something of significance. We've also got Stubbsy, our current joint championship leader, in 16th position. He wants to get a clean lap under his belt. So far a 1:50, so that's not a representative time for him, and he's really pushing it through this high-speed section. And in brake traction once they're through that section, getting a nice toe off Bowen there, going down the back straight. Parked up nicely here on the apex. So nice and cautious on the throttle in maximum purchase out of these wet conditions. Coming into the final few corners, really tricky on the brakes like we said before. Being nice and gentle on the throttle through the final corners, threading the needle up to the line. What's it going to be for Stubbsy? It's currently P6 at 1:39.258 for Stubbsy. Who else is in danger in this session? Chris for sure, and Dan needs to set something, and Chris really struggling through these conditions. He's got low fuel as well. Probably going to have to look to get in the box, maybe get back out again on a fresh set, fresh fuel in the tank. As we get Dan winding one up, he's just about to start his lap, going through turn 1, kisses the apex nicely there, bit of a moment on the exit, runs off the racing line there, and watch the brakes, nice and cautious, keeping it low revs in the gears here, trying to get all the purchase out of the car. You can see it really squirming around, struggling to find the traction. Come on. Done pretty well there not to lock up into that corner. Again, just washes out wide there through that corner. Making use of the short shift in these conditions. Up through the gears. We approach Cops. Going to nail it. As good as made all use of the track there. Just an update at the top of the order. It's currently Vitinho, Mystic and Yaunef all in the 1:38, and Vitinho with a 1:38.4, Mystic with a 1:38.8, and Yaunef with a 1:38.967. And Kimi first to the 39s, 2:01. Burap's on a 2:34. Stubbsy on a 2:58 and a 10:10 on a 3:33. Really nothing really to cover the top 7 or so in these conditions. It's all about getting the ideal perfect lap and just hooking it up. So as Dan comes around the final sector, crosses the line, what's it going to be? That's going to put him right up the order in P4, 1:39 dead, and that's a good job so far. So we've got a late comer to the party. We've got old Pancakes. Now left the session. There's Dan going again. It looks like it. Using up the ERS at this point. Attack mode 5, interesting. Minutes remaining of the session. Chris really needs to hook up a lap. He's on his out lap at the minute. It's going to be the final assault now. Most cars will go out with about 2 laps of fuel within the car, because in these conditions don't want to risk it all on one lap, because it just takes one break of traction, you know, on power or something, and it's going to ruin everything. So expect to see a few hot laps for everyone before this session is out. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. No drama there. Really nice on the front there. Around the final few corners is Dan, who's gone pole with a 1:38.405. He's the next man to break into the fours, 1:38.4s. Him and Vitinho, top of the pile so far. And Mystics going cutting the grass for the guys at the track here. Just caught the back end of it. So who's in danger? Let's ride with someone towards the back end of the grid. Gonna ride on board with Callum. We know he's got pace. He's on a hottie. Can he deliver? And we got Vitinho, who's now gone past this with a 1:37.826. That's a 1:37. He's really smashed it. The track must be really coming to him, or that's an extraordinary lap there for Vitinho at the top of the pile. What can Callum do? He's really got to jump up the order and gain a lot of time on this lap. On the traction there, that's put him up to third with a 1:38.6. Can anyone else break into the 1:37 barrier? I think we've got Callum going again, but we're going to ride on board with someone else who I think can challenge for the front of the order. We've got Buraps coming up to the line. What's it going to be for Buraps? It's a 1:38.445, and it looks like he's backed out a bit there, so I don't think we'll get another lap in at the end of the session, but they will definitely be safe, of course. This is only Q1. We've got all the fun to come. And yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye at the bottom of the order, because that's who's going to be in danger. We've got OTR, who's just starting a flyer. We've got Chris, who's on a fast lap, and he's depleted his battery by the look of it. Still in strat mode 5, coming into the last sector. Already struggling, squirming about there. Everyone diving back into the pits at the end of this session. Really down to these two at the bottom now. Struggling for confidence within the car. The body language is all bad with this Ferrari at the current minute. Just doesn't want to change direction. Looking pretty good for the high speed stuff. Struggling under power. Coming down the back straight here. What can he do? Can he improve on his current lap? Struggling to get his stop, cuts the corner, comes up to the line. It's going to be still in the 42 zeros, and it's not going to be enough, unfortunately, for ABR Chris. Right at the end of the session there. Real difficult conditions for the guys. Again, we're not privy to the information. Is there a dry race, boys? Is it a wet race? Drop your comments. I'm not seeing any comments in the chat, guys. I'd love to hear from you. Just making sure the sound was on, which it is. You can hear me loud and clear, and that is the end of Q1, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we're going to shake out, and we're going to move on to the next one. So I'm going to take a short interlude between these qualifying sessions, and we'll join you again for Q2 in just a moment. So welcome back, ladies and gents, for qualifying 2 of the British Grand Prix, and we still got the rain coming down in this session. Is it going to last for all 3 qualifying sessions? Yet to know about that, but we've got some early cars going out, which seems to point towards the fact that it will be wet for the duration of this session. Yeah, we've got multiple cars exiting the box as early as they can. So who's going to be the first to roll out the pits? So we've got the Haas's there. Here's maybe got 10-10 leading the train coming out of the box. So who's going to get eliminated from this session? So we've got, of course, if you're in 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th or 15th, you will not be partaking in the top 10 shootout for this qualifying session. So who do we expect to see down at the bottom? It's really hard to tell in this division, in this top tier of ABR, because it is talent stacked, and these conditions as well. It's all about hooking it together for one lap, making minimal mistakes, and maximising every traction opportunity throughout this circuit. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. Definitely they'll be burning up the wet tyres at this point as well. So if we do have a wet race, that may partake in some strategy here. Will you use more tyres in qualifying, or you save a few sets for the race as well? That will play a factor in terms of, do you have the dry setup? Do you have a full wet setup for this Grand Prix? It's all to tell. And if anyone who is kicked out of this session, is knocked out, please do let us know in the chat afterwards. What is the forecast? What's your setup, etc. We'd love to hear some feedback from yourselves. So currently everyone but Buraps is out of the box. And we've got Stubbsy in the pit. The yellow flag in sector 2. 10-10. Going to start to wind it up. And I think, interestingly, the rain has stopped by the look of it. The rain has stopped. We've got 12 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Will that be enough time to dry out the track? As you can see, Tenta really struggling there. Car moving around on the apex. Not what you want in a Formula 1 car. We have to watch out for Red Bull Renzo. We've not really seen too much of Red Bull Renzo recently, so it'll be good to follow him throughout this Grand Prix weekend. Currently doing pretty well. Who's everyone else's take for the race? Who's your standouts for this race victory? Conditions will play their part, strategy as well. As we see Tenta getting sideways there. Managing to really hold it together. It's great save there. And that one wasn't. Unlucky, just cooking up the tyres there. I think as the track starts to slowly dry out, it does make this intermediate tyre less effective, more prone to overheating as well. And yeah, will we see a dry tyre before the session is out? Vitinho seems to think so. He's currently got fitted on a soft set of tyres. He's looking towards the end of the session to go out. So who else is going to set a lap time? Let's ride a board with Dan. Mercedes off there, just ahead of us. Hopefully no damage done. Hopefully he can resume, get back onto a dry tyre at some point. As we've got the first lap of Callum, 1:39.5. It's not blistering considering the lap times we saw in the previous round. Track probably going away slightly from the intermediate tyres. We've got Kimi with 1:39.3. Dan comes up to the line. What's it going to be worth? and that's going to be a 1:39.3 as well. Who else is currently out on track? We've got Graps. He's just winding the lap up there, but he's probably thought the tyres are not right and suiting to the conditions at the minute, and he's just gone into the box there. And we've got Lethal setting a lap time of a 1:41. OTR is currently on an out lap on that intermediate tyre. It looks like he's on the in lap. This one is Dan. Callum. It looks like everyone's going to dive back into the pits and just wait for the track to come towards them. And that looks like to be the smart move, because it does look like it's going to dry out. We've still got 8 minutes remaining of this session. We just need to get out with about 2.5 minutes to go. And just pray on the outlap you get a feel for the track and really can push it come them final moments within the qualifying session. And remember Q2, that's the tyre you're going to be starting the Grand Prix on as well. That's going to be interesting who's going to go out, put a soft tyre on. If everyone dives out on the soft tyre, I think that's an indication that it will be a wet Grand Prix. Scandra back in the box. Looks like he's coming out. Oxless is still pushing. Comes out of the final corner up to the line. That's a 1:39.9 for Oxless. Looks like these tyres are not enjoying the conditions as much now. It's starting to slide around overheat. And yeah, we got guys eyeing up the tyres at the minute. They're probably looking at that delta, watching it come down. So we've got Red Bull Renzo, sorry, 33. Obviously a Max Verstappen fan, I would assume. So yeah, we're going to dive back into the pits, wait it out, it looks like, and yeah, go again. So who's going to be the first to test the conditions, get out on the drier tyre and start to pump in some lap times? I think we're going to wait a few minutes probably now. Yeah, so not much action to commentate at the minute. We just got cars returning to the pits. Like I say, who's going to be the first to venture out, to venture boldly when no one else has gone so far during this race weekend? Who's going to opt for the softer? Who's going to opt for the medium? Maybe. I don't expect to see anyone on the hard tyre. It's an awful tyre to start on, of course, but yeah, some real strategy going to come into play in this final part of Q2. So ladies and gents, just whilst we wind up for the final blitz at the end of qualifying 2, I'm just going to grab a cold one. As I'm sure you're sitting back enjoying your popcorn, get your popcorn ready. There's going to be fireworks in this race weekend at the British Grand Prix, I'm sure of that. Okay, so first to make the bold step is Mystic. He's gone out and he's venturing on the soft compound of tyre. Still looks a bit cold to me, the track at the current moment. Needing to warm up ever so slightly. He's going to wind it up nonetheless. Go attack mode, party mode, whatever you want to call it. Turn one, a little wobble there, a little moment of oversteer, kept it composed very nicely, going down into this braking zone. Get as close to that apex as possible, get your braking right through here, get on the power as early as possible. It's going to pay you back all the way down this Wellington straight here. Get really loose on the exit there, it's cost him some time. Got Dan coming out on the medium compounder tyre. He's the next one to venture onto the track. Probably going to do a couple of laps on that medium, I'd expect. It looks like Mystic has aborted this lap. He's probably just going to save the battery for another day, another lap, another attempt at pole position. All of the lap times, if you're just joining us, have been set on the intermediate compound so far. We've got the cars starting to filter out onto track. We've got Vitinho, he's come out on the soft tyre, as well as Buraps. We've got Lethal just venturing out here. He's on the soft compounder tyre. As well as, of course, as Oxtes. We've got Dan, who's chosen the medium compounder tyre. Kimmy's on the softs. 1010 is on the softs. Stubbsy just coming out on the softs as well. So really, to try and pick someone for pole position in this qualifying session is going to be a really tricky one. It's going to be like picking a name out the hat, I do believe. But if I had to put my money on anyone, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say Buraps for the pole, Vitinho, he could potentially be up there as well. That's counting out a lot of talent, and I don't like to do that. Don't be shy, boys and girls. Do comment in the stream whereabouts you're from, where you're watching. Are you watching over stateside, watching over in the UK, somewhere in Europe? Do let us know. We'd love to hear more about you and what you think of this league, this division, this talent we have on display. Let's ride on board someone who is currently on a lap. We've got Lethal just aborted there. Mystic must be winded up again. Coming down the old National Straight here. Good place to watch the race. Watched it here last year. Taking that one in 7th gear, so the track is coming towards them. Again, just a little moment. Maybe a track limits. Right on board Dan, currently on the medium compounder tyre. Looks like just winding a lap up there. Jimmy looks like he's in attack mode on the soft tyre. Currently our leader in this qualifying 2 session, using all the available track here. He's in both the outside and the inside of the corner. Keeping it nice and tight as you can through here. Get on the power as clean and early as you can, and he does that to great effect. Using the curb as well there. All of the track. Now we've got PWR Dan, who's just set a 135.1 on the medium compound tyre. With the yellow flag. Currently in sector 2. Looks like we've got a car off. Potentially a Toro Rosso. He's been disqualified from the session for driving the wrong way. Maybe he's trying to turn around. The dry time starting to flood in now. We've got ABR Buraps with a 131.8. Then we've got 1010, he's set a 32.249. Oxtes has got away with a 131.2, that puts him top of the pack. As we've got Kimmy up to the line, a 131.391 for him. not far off the fastest time of this session. Who else is currently out on the lap and who is in danger? Yaunif's coming back into the pits. What has happened to Yaunif? You're going to have a lot of cars potentially not setting a lap at the end of this qualifying session. Right on board with Bowen. What can he do at the end of this qualifying 2 session? Really needs to get a lap in. Red Bull Renzo puts himself up into 3P. Stubbsy's just gone fastest with a 1:30.953. Bowen comes up to the line. What's it going to be for Bowen? It's a 1:30.1712, which gives him 6 currently. Andrew is out on the medium compounder tyre. He's just gone into P9 with a 1:32.274. Who's yet to set a lap time? We've got Vitinho out on track still. Stop nicely there. Comes up to the line, and yeah, that's a good lap. Let's put him right up the cutting edge of the grid. That puts him first. Great lap at the end from Vitinho, and the track was really at its fastest at that exact moment. The later you left it, the better the lap. The track was really evolving. It was Vitinho with a 1:30.330, and Stubbsy with a 1:30.9. Then we had Oxtes 1:31.2, Kimi a 1:31.3. And we had Red Bull Renz 1:31.5. Then we had Callum, Lethal, Bowen, Buraps and 10:10, which go through to the next round of qualifying, the top 10 shootout. And unfortunately eliminated, we have Ganjawiz, we had PWR Dan Mystic, we had Yaunif, and he didn't set a lap time unfortunately for Yaunif. And we had Jerem as well there. So them boys can choose a free choice of tyres, of course, for the start of the Grand Prix. That will give them some kind of benefit, depending again on the weather. I'm not privy to the conditions, so do let us know on the Grand Prix conditions, boys and girls. What's it looking like for the race? Aberdeen, Scotland, come on y'all. We do love the Scots. We do love Yaunif as well. He's been commentating on some of my leagues, and as well I've been listening to him on the Tier 2, I think it is. He commentates on that, and yeah, real pleasure. A real good commentator, good chap as well. Silent Boom not currently with us this week as well. The other flying Scotsman. I wonder what his excuse was this week. Maybe the barbecue is on. I'm not quite sure. Everyone gearing up to go out. We've got dry conditions now. They're going to have a lot of dry tyres saved up, so they can just really maximise, get as many laps in as possible. Yeah, quite a few cars venturing out. 10-10, one of the first 3 cars. So I'm going to ride on board with Vitinho for his opening lap here. So Q3, a shortened session here. We don't have much time to mess around, so you'll be lucky, really lucky, if you get 3 stints in. You won't get 3 stints, you get probably 2 stints in at a push. And they've got plenty of tyres in the bank, so they don't have to worry about this tyre for the race as well, so they can go 2 laps on them if they feel that will benefit them. Some drivers prefer that extra warm-up. Just feel the track. Someone upper gearbox here by the sound. Yeah, we got McLaren grabbing a cheeky toe. He's going to dive down to the inside though. Is this a race or a qualifying session, boys? He lets him through there, the Haas. He's going to pick up the toe surely from Red Bull Renzo. Cuts a bit at the corner there. Comes up, the first one across the line to start his flying lap of this Q3 session. Turns the engine up here, coming down the back straight, hanger straight. Coming down this far section into slow. Let's drop a gear here. Feather the throttle on the apex, late apex there. Don't want to use too much of the exit, and dives into the pits. Dives into the pits. So Vitinho is on the lap behind him. What's he going to do? Coming out the final few corners. And he sets a 126.715, a 126. Watch out, boys, Vitinho has arrived. And he doesn't look like he's done here. And he's surely going to come back in the box and have another go at it. As the times start flooding in, we've got 1010 who set a 127.236. We've got Lethal with a 127.239. And we've also got Kimi with a 127.420. Now we've got Stubbsy. Stubbsy's having none of that. He's set a 126.678. He's gone top of the pile so far. A great banker lap for that opening stint. Who else have we got out now? It looks like he's winding one up. Perhaps as well. Now he's on an attack. And he's in all of the track available there. Through this lovely corner of Stowe. It's Hopsing. Look at this. It's lovely. Maggots, Beckett's. Oh, and he just took too much of the curb and it's put him around. He will have time to go again. Just going to get out of the way nicely there. As Oxley comes up to the line. Callum's got pole. And Callum's got pole with 126.313. Setting the benchmark now. Really taking a bit of a chunk out there, boys, at the top of the field. And sorry, Oxley was just starting his lap, I do believe, or maybe invalidated there. So Brap's going to have to come back into the pits. Bowen is looking like he's going to go again, maybe come back into the pits, maybe invalidated that lap time. We expect to see everyone dive back in at this point. And they'll go back out with about 3 minutes to go in this session. Maybe some will go out earlier if they haven't set a representative lap time again, just in case they do make a mistake. They will get the opportunity to maybe fit a third set of tyres. Bowen starts his lap. It's currently Callum, Stubbsy, Vitinho, 10-10, Lethal, Kimi. And then we've got the rest of the boys yet to set a lap time. We've got Bowen, Buraps, Renzo and Oxtes. Nice and clean here. Nice and patient, that's it. Short shift up through the gears. Now maximum attack. Turn it up to overtake. Coming down into this tricky corner. Brooklands. Doing well there on the apex. Still not the ideal conditions for these guys. We'd like the sun to be beaming, the track tends to be a bit more up at this point. Really carrying a lot of speed for the apex there. A bit too much out of that corner. We're going to come up to the line. We're going to see what we can do in this lap. In the box now. Probably getting a fresh set. 4.5 minutes left of this session. Who's still out on track? Upstairs looks like he's just cruising back into the pits. So it's just Red Bull Renzo currently on his out lap, so we'll ride on board with him. So Red Bull Renzo currently P7 with a 127.356. Yet to set a lap time, it's just down to Bowen and Buraps. Leaving it to the death. Can they pull it out of the bag? Can they pull a shock out? on the cards. It looks like the track is evolving, so you definitely need to go out one more time. And Vitinho looks like he's lethal. First of the challengers to go out for this final phase of the session. Also got Buraps now. It's back out. And the rest of the boys are going to leave it probably for another minute or so. Try and be the last one across the line. First to start that lap. The ride and ball with Vitinho. Sun starting to shine on the circuit now. Track temps will be rising in these final minutes of the qualifying session, that means. And it will really come to the boys and girls who might be even up as much as a second in this track. Surely not. As Vitinho starts his lap. Kisses the apex there. Nice up, short shift after his third gear there. It's on the power nicely. He's up on his first sector time there. In short shifting. Trying not to break traction. A bit of wheel spin up on the curve there. Held some nice speed through that corner. Yeah, really nailing that high speed section. Coming down the back straight, what's this going to be? Drop down to full, surprisingly. Just using the engine braking on the apex. Vitinho comes up to the line. What's it going to be for Vitinho? It's a 1:26.1. He's currently gone provisional pole with that, with 50 seconds remaining in this session. Who's going to be the ones to challenge come the end of this session? It's going to be all to play for, as we've got Buraps now coming around the final few corners up to the line, and it's going to be a 1:26.386, currently third fastest overall, and it looks like that is all for Buraps. He's spent everything he's got. And we're going to ride on board with Kimi. He's another favourite for the pole position. Very nice, smooth, undramatic through there. That's what you want to see. It's 4 temps up through sector 2. Final corner, what's it going to be for Kimi? It's going to be a 1:26.958, that currently puts him P7. Bowen's out on the lap, yet to set a lap time. So it's all banking on his final lap now for Bowen. Hold it through 6th gear there, nicely. Callum's gone fastest with a 1:26 dead. Callum pulling it out of the bag for his final lap of the qualifying session, a 1:26.0. Can anyone challenge him? Stubbsy's finished there. Looks like everyone else is in the pits. It's all up to Bowen. What can Bowen do as he rounds the final few corners across the line? And that puts him P7 with a 1:26.815. So that looks like it is it, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to finish with Callum with the pole position. Not a surprise there, quick driver, but I thought Vitinho would challenge for that, and he did. He put himself P2 with 1:26.1. Real small margins there for pole position. Then we had Oxtes in P3 with a 1:26.226. Then we had Buraps. He done a good lap time there with a 1:26.386 under pressure. Stubbsy with a 1:26.678. Yeah, real interesting qualifying session. And that would have been very arduous for the boys and girls because, you know, you had started off with the wet conditions, really tricky in terms of Q1, Q2. We still had a bit of rain to start with. We did dry out just towards the end, really tricky to really nail it at the right time. And then Q3 we had some nice bone dry conditions, and it finished Callum, Vitinho, Oxtes, Buraps, Stubbsy, 10-10, Bowen, Kimi, Lethal and Renzo rounding out the top 10 there. So the top 10 covered only by 1.3 of a second, so you can see how tightly packed it is there. And expect to see a good race. Again, we still don't know what the weather entails for the Grand Prix, so that's always sort of like a Kinder Egg surprise in the middle. And yeah, I'm going to be looking forward to the Grand Prix now, boys and girls. But yeah, great qualifying session to kick us off with. And who's your pick for the win of this Grand Prix? Callum's sitting pretty, but Vitinho's going to be a maximum attack mode just behind him there. And he's going to be a bit of a dark horse in this race, I think. What's your thoughts, boys and girls? Who do you think is going to win the Grand Prix? Do let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So there might be a short interlude here before the Grand Prix. As we just wait for everyone to ready up and to get us underway. So, first things first, we've got a nice clear day by the look of it. A few clouds in the sky, but a dry start for this Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix ABR. This is Tier 1, so this is the top tier of the ABR, American British Racing Series. And yeah, some real great talent in this Grand Prix. A lot of people that can win it. Of course, in Q2, they did use the dry tyre towards the end. So we've got a few people starting on the medium tyres. They're definitely going to benefit from that. But most of the medium runners, I think, did finish outside the top 10. So expect to see them potentially starting hard or mediums. And strategy is going to play a key part around this circuit because the soft tyre is probably going to not last too long. And in a 50% race, it's going to be pivotal, the strategy. If you can try and one stop, it's really going to pay dividends. It's not the worst circuit in terms of tyre wear, but you can eat up the tyres if you're not too smooth. But these boys, like we say, are the finest, the cream of the crop in the ABR tier system. So yeah, expect to see them really take care of their tyres. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting Grand Prix. So just a reminder in terms of the championship, we've got currently Stubbsy and Buraps at top of Tier 1 on 42 points. And we've got Oxtes with 36, Callum with 33, joint with Dan. And then we've got Yaunef and Bowen. Yaunef 32 points, Bowen on 22. Then Vitan Hivenant on 18, Mystic on 16, Silent Boom on 10. We've got Ganja Wiz on 7 and Cookie on 4 points there. So we've just got the session readied up. We've got a green light for the Grand Prix. So this is your countdown, your 30-second or 20-second now countdown until we get ready to go racing, boys and girls. So get yourself comfortable, grab a cold one because this is going to be epic. So as the grid forms up, we will have a formation lap for this Grand Prix. So the cars will just go around, warm up the tyres and get a feel for the track and return to the grid. So we'll just join you in a few minutes for that. So welcome along, boys and girls, for the British Grand Prix. The cars are just on their formation lap at the current time. Callum's going to lead the charge. We've got pole position in the qualifying session at the DEF, and yeah, really setting myself up nicely for this Grand Prix. We've got the fast charging Vitinho and the Haas just behind him. Oxtes in a racing point in P3, just behind the leader on the starting grid. Got to look to get the ideal traction off the line now. And let's just have a look what everyone's starting on. So we've got Ganjel is in P11. He's going to start on the medium compound, as well as Dan, Mystic, Yaunif, Jerem, FS. Must be late to the party there. He's set his time. Oh, sorry. He's going to start on the soft compounder tyre. And we've got Chris, who's going to start on the medium as well. So yeah, mix of strategy there outside the top 10. It's going to be an interesting one as we've got the cars forming up. It's favourite part of the weekend. Tension building. Who's going to get the ideal traction off the line? Going down into turn 1, is there going to be any contact? It's a real bottleneck going down into turn 1. As you get the swapper on, you've got the inside for 1, you're going to have the outside for 2. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting start to this Grand Prix. The last few cars forming up at the back of the grid. And the lights are forming now. As we've got 5 red lights. And away we go for the British Grand Prix, and it looks like a pretty decent start for the Haas, but the Williams has really hooked it up now, and we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1, are we? And it's going to be, is it? He holds on to the lead through turn 1. Callum Vitinho just tucks in P2, Oxtes in P3, and it looks like everyone's come around pretty safely there. As we're just going to stay with the leading bunch for these opening few corners. It's Callum who currently leads, Vitinho's hold on to P2, Oxtes on to P3, got Stubbsy P4. And in the background, is there going to be any changes of position? Everyone just being cautious for these opening phases of the Grand Prix. But we've got Buraps diving up the inside there, making a great position, but he's going to be on the outside now. Can he hold it around the outside, or is it going to be contact? Keeping it nice and fair and clean there. But it's Stubbs going to hold on to the position. Yeah, Buraps, a lovely overtake there. Riley just behind, we've got Renzo and Kimi running side by side. Who's going to lift? Red Bull takes the lead through the fast flowing corners there. We've got a car dropping down the order. We've got someone out the Grand Prix. We've got Lethal out the Grand Prix. Didn't manage to catch it there. But as we're coming into the end of lap 1, we've got plenty of close race action, and we've got a safety car because of that. We've got a safety car deployed due to the incident involving Lethal. Such a shame there. On lap 1 of the Grand Prix, Lethal's out, and who's going to box now? That's going to be the interesting question. Is anyone going to dive into the pits? Everyone pretty happy on their soft compounder tyres by the look of it. They're all running through. So we're going to have the safety car deployed for the next couple of laps. Everyone's pretty bunched up already, so hopefully we can get racing on the end of lap 2, starting into 3. So currently the standings as they are, we've got Callum in P1, Vitinho P2, Oxtes P3, Stubbsy P4, Buraps in P5, Tenta in P6, Renzo P7, Kimi P8, Bowen in P9, PWR Dan P10, Ganjel is in P11, Yaunif P12, Mystic in P13, Chris 14, Jerem in 15, and FS in 16, and unfortunately out of the Grand Prix. Our first retirement, we do have ABR Lethal. So yeah, the best of the medium runners is currently up in P10, and that is PWR Dan. This will help the softer running cars, because they'll be able to run for longer on these softer compounder tyres as well. Also the medium runners, they'll be able to run a bit deeper into the race as well. Saving tyres, saving fuel, saving your ERS, so you can really turn the wick up once we get racing once again. So we'll try and keep our eyes on the back of the safety car for when the lights do go out, because that will indicate to us that he's going to dive into the pits for a cup of tea, and we can get racing once again, ladies and gents. as we can see, the winners and losers off the grid. We've got Chris, he's made up 3 positions on his starting grid. Yannick's up 2 positions. Dan is up 2 positions. Bowen's down 2. Renzo's up 3. Buraps is down 1 position. Stubbsy is made up of 1 place. And the big loser out of all of it, unfortunately, was iLethal. He dropped right down the order and out the Grand Prix. So, as predicted, safety car is staying out another lap. It's pretty scripted in this game. It doesn't tend to dive back in if the field is bunched up. It doesn't really pay attention to that. I think it's just out for a set duration of laps. So expect to see it fly into the box at the end of this lap, and we'll be able to get racing once again. So how deep will the soft runners be able to go into this Grand Prix? This is going to help the medium runners as well, because they're going to be able to stay close to the back of the soft runners, and that will help them in terms of their strategy, because you really want to stretch your legs if you start the Grand Prix on a soft tyre, and yeah, get as much advantage over the medium runners as possible, because they maybe will hold you up in the next phase of your Grand Prix. We've got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits there for, I think, Red Bull Renzo, and yeah, that's really unfortunate there. So let's have a look through any penalties and incidents. So yeah, 5-second penalty is the only penalty administered so far, and that was for Red Bull Renzo, exceeding track limits. We'll have to see what happened with him after the Grand Prix is finished. So we just received message from race control. Safety car is in this lap, so Callum will become the new safety car, the pace setter. Of course, he's going to want to maintain a bit of a gap before the lap is out, until he can get his hammer down and get this race started once again. So the field is going to bunch up here. And it's going to be up to Callum, sorry, in terms of when he gets the hammer down. Everyone at a snake's crawl right now. And a 5-second penalty there for a severe collision. We've got a few penalties there as the pack really slowed down. And we've got a bit of a corner cut there through the final few corners. And we've got another 5-second penalty, severe collision with ABR Buraps for 10-10. As we come up to start racing conditions once again. And we've got Red Bull Renzo is fighting with Kimi, who's made the position, going down into turn 1. Across the line, Renzo just lost out there. And we've got Bowen diving up the inside of the McLaren there with Renzo as well. Renzo really losing out on that restart, but a great opportunistic move there for Bowen. He's up into P7 now. And a good start for PWR Dan, who's currently on the medium compounder tyre. And we've got another battle going on. We've got someone out of the Grand Prix by the look of it. We have got a yellow flag. I don't know what happened to 10-10, but he's really dropped off the pace. Maybe an illegal overtake, not quite sure what happened there. But Red Bull Renzo really having a dreadful safety car restart and really dropping down like a stone through the order. It's so tightly packed now, like a kid in the sweet shop trying to choose the action to follow. But it's there currently Callum leading the Grand Prix. Vitinho's held on to P2. Oxtes is still in P3. Stubbs is still in P4. Kimi's up into P5. Then we've got Bowen P6. Oxtes here, closing ever more on the back of Vitinho. Closing down the gap. Can he make a move? Can he make it stick? We've got Chris losing a position. And we got some fighting further down the order. Red Bull Renzo dives into the pits. FS wanting to make a move, coming out the final corner. He's in the quicker tyre, going down into turn 1. Is he going to send it? No, he thinks better of it, just tucks back inside. Lives to fight another day. We've got a fight a bit further up in the order. We've got Yaunif now currently up into position 8. He's made the move on Ganjuiz by the look of it. At the front of the order, we've got Callum, Vitinho, Oxted, Stubbsy, Kimi, Bowen, Dan, Yaunif, Ganjuiz, Mr. Green, Jerem, Chris, FS, Buraps, 10-10, and Red Bull Renzo, who's dived into the pits. Nice little battle here. Ganjuiz and Mystic. to Yalnif as ever, making up the positions, currently up to 6 positions on his starting grid. Really making up the order now. We've got yellow flag in sector 2. What has happened? Looks like everyone is okay. Got quite far the back of the 10, maybe had a mistake. So the field is ever more spreading out. We've got Buraps there, up into position 13, just overtaking FS. Really wanting to get a move on right now. We know Buraps has got the pace. He's at the wrong end of the order, really needs to make them positions up now. As the leader comes across the line, we've got Callum, he's got a 1 second advantage. Yellow flag in sector 3. Car in the box, I think. 10-10 has, I think, had enough for today. Gone into the pits. Gaps coming down to the leader. It's now under 1 second, so DRS will be in effect. Using up as much of the battery, trying to close in this gap now to Callum. Using all of the road, lovely line through there. Gap now 0.9 of a second. DRS is enabled for him. Give him the chance to charge back up the battery. Attack once more. We've got Stubbsy now closing in on the back of Oxtis. Can he make a move? Andrew is multiple warnings for corner cutting. Stubbsy coming out of this. It's got DRS enabled, going down into the braking zone. It's not going to be close enough. Maybe just charging the battery up, I think. So we can go maximum attack on Oxtis. Maybe come hanger straight, maybe leave it another lap. It's a long way to go. Currently lap 7 of 26. Your leader is Callum, who's still not broken the DRS of Vitinho. And Oxtis a further 2.2 seconds behind. We've got Stubbsy, who's leading the charge right behind him. Then we've got Kimmy a further 3.7 seconds behind. Half a second behind him, we've got Bowen. 4 tenths behind him, we've got Dan. Then Yowlis another 1.6 behind him. Half a second behind him, we've got Mystic. Gandul is hanging on to the back of him. Jerem another 1.5 seconds, just out DRS there. And Buraps all over the back of him now. Going to get the position done. Down the inside, down the hanger straight. Yeah, he's going to have the high ground into the braking zone. And he gets the position done there. Buraps really needs to make a move now. It's done really well, up into P11. Had a terrible start to the Grand Prix. Stubbsy starting to close in now. He's going to make the move right on the back of the racing point. DRS enabled. We've got a 3 second time penalty administered to ABR Chris. So a lot of penalties already flying in. Only lap 8 of 26, boys. Keep it calm. And again, Stubbsy, I think, charging the battery once again. Almost up to 100%. Really hard to stay close to the car in front for this high-speed section because dirty air really does play its part. But Stubbsy, the car really looks planted. It's a better exit here. Gets on the DRS. Going to go overtake mode. Going to go to the outside because it doesn't matter. We're going to get the position done, and that's Stubbsy up into P3. A great move there. Great move. Good respectful driving as well from Oxness. doing well to hang on. So we've got the soft runners still holding out here on lap 8 of the Grand Prix. The best of the medium runners is currently Dan in P6. We've got Yalnif in P8. As always, making up the positions in the early phases of the Grand Prix. So our winners at Shakers currently, Dan is up 6 positions, Yalnif up 6, Mystic is up 4 positions as well. And we've got another 3-second time penalty for Yalnif there for multiple undercuts. A lot of people struggling with tracking this at the current moment. So the only person yet to make a pit stop is Renzo. And Vitinho is closed right up to the back of Callum now. And we're going to have to ride on board with the leaders. Maybe a change of the lead, boys and girls. Got the better exit through here. Don't want to be too close to the back of him. Could catch him out. You see Callum charging the battery, flashing light up ahead of us. Get back on the ERS now, surely, which he does. He's going to have it in strat mode 5, or strat mode 2 even. See, he's just going to tuck back in. He's closed the gap now, so he's within the DRS, and we've got Callum diving into the pits. He's going to be the first of the soft runners to make the pit stop. He doesn't want the undercut to undercut him, so he's into the box. Who else is going to make the pit stop? We've got Callum into the pits, we've also got Oxtes into the pits, so your new race leader is Vitinho, moved up into P1, then we've got Stubbsy P2, Kimmy's been promoted up as well. As everyone comes across the line, we've got the new Deltas here. And we've got a nice little battle going on for the final podium position. We've got Kimmy, we've got Dan, and we've got Yalnif. Sitting most pretty out of them is Dan and Yalnif. They're on the medium compound of tyre, of course. And they're very close to the back of Kimmy right now, which is putting them in a great position. The medium runners really paid off for them with that early safety car. I think it's going to pay off come the later phases of this Grand Prix. For this fast flowing of Maggots and Beckett's, just hanging on behind the rear wing of that car there, washing out there. You can see struggling. Gangel is right up the gearbox now, the RS in effect. Who's going to have the most minerals, the bigger battery? Down into the braking zone. Mystic's going to hold on to the inside. Gangel attacks to the outside, just going to lose out there, but he's going to have the inside, is he? No, he's not. He's going to have to tap back in just behind there. And we've also got Kimmy into the pits now. Kimmy has made the pit stop on the following lap of the Grand Prix. We've got quite a few cars now diving into the pits. We've got Vitinho, who's also opted for the medium compounder tyres, whereas Stubbsy's flown into the pits. Kimmy now as well. So your current race leader is PWR Dan. Then we've got Yalnif, Bowen, Mystic, Ganjois, Buraps, Jerem, Evest, Chris, Callum, Vitinho, Stubbsy, Oxtes, Kimmy, and Lorenzo. So lap 11 of 26 of this Grand Prix, and as you can see, of course, this is not the net lead of this Grand Prix, but it's the current lead of the Grand Prix, and it's Dan versus Yalnif, and Yalnif's really closing into the back of the Williams now, looking to make a move. And we've also got Ganjois going side by side. And Ganjois got spun out, and he's collected Buraps as well. Buraps going to have extensive damage as well as the Alfa Romeo there. And we've got a full safety car deployed, a full safety car. This is going to pay off mega for anyone who hasn't stopped yet. Of course, we're going to have the lap delta enforced. And this is going to really pay dividends to the guys at the front of the order. You can go to the end of the Grand Prix potentially now. Potentially you can see Dan dive in for a hard set of tyres. It's going to be interesting to see. And we've got a few cars diving into the pits. We've got Dan into the pits. Bowen into the pits. So Yalnif has taken the race lead. Mystics currently in P2, yet to stop. I'll remind you, we've got Dan who's going to make his one and only mandatory pit stop. It's going to be interesting what tyre they do go on. And the guys are not ready. The guys, oh, they are ready. Sorry, there's a little glitch that we see every now and then. It's gone onto the compound tyre. Interesting, that one. I would expect it maybe a potential hard-on, but soft tyre. Okay, that's interesting strategy. We've got Bowen. He's going to come out of the pits on the medium compound, a bit more sensible. And then we've got Jerem there on the harder compound tyre. So he looks to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Probably going to have to do quite a few laps on that tyre. But yeah, we've got safety car deployed, so we're going to have just a few seconds. Take a quick comfort break before we resume racing once again, boys and girls. But unfortunate, we've still got 15 runners in this Grand Prix. We've lost 10-10, we've lost Lethal, and we had a safety car, which is really going to shuffle the pack right now, because Dan's managed to make his pit stop, and he's managed still in P7, so he's in contention for this lead. But your net leader is Callum, who's made his pit stop, got back up on the medium compounder tyre, the early call, and yeah, he's managed to hold on to P3 there, with ahead of Vitinho, Oxus in P5, Stubbsy P6. It's going to be an interesting one once we get racing once again. So let's hope we get a final sprint at the end of this Grand Prix now. Currently marking the halfway mark on lap 13 of 26 of this Grand Prix. So who is yet to make a stop? That will be interesting to see. So everyone has made one and only pit stops, apart from Renzo's 2 stopped. No harm in doing so. And yeah, we're going to see when the safety car does decide to dive into the pits. Hopefully this lap is going to be. The current net leader is Callum, then Vitinho, Oxdes, as it was off the line, then Stubbsy P4, Dan P5, Bowen P6, Jerem P7, Kimi P8, FS P9. Ganjul is rounding out the top 10. Burak's there, who collected, is it Ganjul is, I think. They've both come back out and hopefully got a new nose on. And live to fight another day. Safety car was a real blessing in that incident. Looked like an unfortunate one. I'm sure it'll be investigated after this Grand Prix is finished. So yeah, safety car is coming in this lap. The lights are off and the safety car is bolted. So Callum will get this restart underway once again. So everyone's going to warm up their tyres and get ready to go racing once again. Is now in the pit entrance. It's up to Dan, when to bolt, and he's bolted. He's gone. And he's got a bit of a good margin there on Vitinho. Pulled out half a second already. It's like a clean getaway for pretty much everyone there. We're just managing to hold on. And Vitinho is managing to hold on to the back of the Callum on this safety car restart. So we've got the top 4 currently out on the medium compounder tyre. Interesting, we've got Dan. He's going to be in maximum attack now. Surely he's out on the soft compounder tyre, currently down in P5. Then we've got Jerem, and we've got a really rider Vitinho there, making a new line for himself, and he rejoins the track just in front of Oxtes. Oxtes surely having to lift out of it just there. Side-by-side action here with Yaunif making up the position. Goes a bit wide on the exit, but he still manages to hold on. Gandrawiz looks back to the inside, tucks back in, and Callum's now set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:29.319. As everyone comes across the line, leaders now pulled out a 1.6 seconds on Vitinho due to that error. Looking at the gaps here, decided who to focus on. Like I said before, it's like a kid in a switch shot moment. And we've got Dan looking a bit punchy up here by the look of it. Closing in on the back of this leading quartet. Callum looks like he's stretching his legs a bit more. The gap now up into 1.7 seconds, then back to Oxford, it's 0.8 and then 0.3. So Dan, who really needs to start taking advantage of these tyres at this point in the race. We've got a yellow flag, it looks like FS has had an incident, and Chris has been given a 3-second time penalty. FS has dropped back down into P15, but we're going to ride on board still with the leaders here. Stubbsy, he knows he's got to get a move on now. He's attacking the back of Stubbsy attacking the back of Oxford. Stubbsy's going to just tuck back in, look to get DRS down this straight, try to make a move up the inside potentially. Here he goes, he's in strap mode 4. Oxness covers the inside. Doesn't matter if we can break nice and deep to the outside. It's not going to be enough. Oxness just touches our wheel here. And all the time, Callum is extending his advantage. He's now 2.3 seconds behind him. And we've got Dan, he really wants to make a move right now, you can tell he's itching. So much faster in the apex. So lucky there not to collect the back of Stubbsy. Had to scrub a bit of speed off the apex. It's going to cost him back here. So interesting, can Callum go to the end of the Grand Prix on that medium set of tyres? We know people can stretch that medium tyre. It is sometimes a godsend, but it's going to be a tall order at that. Then we've got Vitinho P2, Oxness still in P3, Stubbsy P4, Dan P5, Bowen up into P6, Buraps making a good comeback there up into P7 ahead of Jerem. Then we've got Yaunif and Kimi. And we can see Stubbsy really getting punchy now, really close to the back of Oxness. Surely he's going to make a move. He's in strat mode 4. He's going to break to the outside once again. But Oxness just comes across. Going to have the outside line again, but he's going to get earlier on the power, surely. Coming down the national straight here. It's not going to be close enough again. And all this time they're fighting, Dan is losing out. Dan is losing out. He's on that soft tyre, remember. And we got a 3-second time penalty administered to Bowen there. This is Dan's time. He's ever closer to the car ahead. He's gonna have to try and make a move surely soon. Never mind that, we've got a battle going on here. We've got Yalnif now up into P8. He just called Jeremy napping. That's Yalnif up 6 positions, Dan's up 7 currently. He's looking to make it 8, he's going to go to the inside. Mystic has left the session. Gutted for Mystic there. Saving up a bit of the ERS. Really going to have to attack in the next few laps. He's going to have to box again in this Grand Prix, surely. So what's the next battle to focus on? We've got Dan. He's very close to the back of the car in front of him, but he's not made the move so far. Yalnif with another 3-second penalty there. And we've got Buraps looking to make a move on Bowen, sorry. Dives to the inside, leaves space on the exit there, and yeah, gets the position done nicely. Both these boys on the medium, 6-lap old mediums. And we've got Yalnif closing in on the soft 6-lap old soft tires. In the pits is Mystic. Nice little three-way battle going on here between Yalnif, Bowen and Buraps. ABR, three-way battle. What's it gonna be? Who's gonna come out on top? Who's going to bring home the bacon? So Callum now with a 3.5-second lead over Vitinho. Vitinho's pulled out his own little margin there of 1.8 seconds over Oxdes. Then Stubbsy is closing in on the back of Oxdes. I'll switch to that battle by looking at it. He's ever gaining. DRS in effect. Is he going to make a late move? No, he thinks better of it. Got quite a low battery. So it's maybe going to save it up. Stubbsy, 3-second time penalty. DRS is now enabled. Oxdes again holds that inside line. Close enough again. It's charging up the battery. We've got a battle going on back here. It's the Red Bull versus the Toro Rosso. And Kimi's through, or is he? Jerem's coming back at him. They're going to go side by side. Who's going to lift through here? Surely the Toro Rosso is going to have the high ground. And that's Jerem holding on to P9. But Kimi's going to come back at him surely under DRS. This is keeping Ganduis on the hard compounder tyres in the fight. FS with a 3-second time penalty and multiple warnings. I'm going to go side by side once again. And running a bit wide there. Jerem's got the inside line. But now Kimi has, and Kimi's got the position. Kimi's up into P9. And a great overtake that was. Coming down into turn 1 though, it looks like the Toro Rosso's going to be chomping at the bit, biting the rear end. And we've got a 3 second for Kimi there. Using a bit too much of the track at this point. Oh, and we've got Jerem round. Jerem has gone round. I don't know if he lost it on his own. Had a slight bit of contact there, but yeah, real disappointing. That's dropped him right down the field, all the way down into 14th now. So your current race leader on lap 21 of 26. My God, it's flown by this Grand Prix. It's Callum, your current leader. He's got a 3.3 second lead over ABR Vitinho in P2. Then we've got Oxtes currently in P3. He's a further 3.3 seconds behind Vitinho. And he's got, for good company, he doesn't want it, but he's got Stubbsy hanging on to the back of him, as well as Dan, who's on this soft compounder tyre, so he's going to struggle to go to the end of this Grand Prix, but he's staying out there nonetheless. Then behind Dan we've got Yaunif. He's a further 3 seconds up the road, again on the softer compounder tyre, and he's got Buraps with him for good company, as well as Bowen. So all the ABR boys, 6, 7 and 8th there. Then we've got Kimi, still having a tussle here. Having a little battle with Ganjulis over P9 and P10. Then we've got Renzo P11, just outside the points, further 3.4 seconds back. And Evest in P12, Chris in P13, Jerem P14, and in 15th we've got Mystic there. So the top 3 positions, the top 2 positions look pretty much in place, and it's all to fight for this final podium position. As you can see, it's going to be a 3-way battle here between Oxton, Stubbsy and Dan for that final step on the podium, that final sip of champagne. Who's going to bring home the bacon? And it looks like Dan's going to probably fade towards the end of this battle, surely on that softer compounder tyre, but Oxtes has really held on to P3 for a long time now, and fended off Stubbsy on multiple occasions. Stubbsy back there though. Yeah, as you can see, Oxtes with 6% of his battery remaining, really sucking all the juice out of that battery. And Stubbsy in P4, maybe conserving a bit more, as you can see here, just using the DRS to recharge his batteries, maybe save a bit of fuel at the same time. And you're really going to have to make the move on the final few laps of this Grand Prix and just try and break it, give it everything. But Oxtes doing a valiant job of holding on to the position. Such a low battery as well. There we go, he's turned the wick up to overtake. Yet again, Oxtes moves to the inside. No surprise there. You can see saving battery all the way down this straight here. This is going to need it for the hanger straight, surely. Just a little kiss to the back end of Oxtes there from Stubbsy. No harm done. It's a nice little battle here for the final podium step. Just behind that though, we've got Yaunif Buraps fighting over P6. Bowen there, he's slipped back slightly into position 8, a further 2.9 seconds behind. Then we've got Ganjul is a further 3 seconds, but he's got Kimi for good company. And yes, we've got a change of position finally, and we've just missed it, unfortunately, but Stubbsy is through. Made the position stick on the racing point, and that's moved him up into P3 with only a few laps now left to go. Can Oxtes reply to this? And Dan as well is really doing well to hold on to these tyres. As you can see, we've only got 8% of our battery left on board with Oxtes, and yeah, he's got a lot of work to do in these final few laps of the Grand Prix. So lap 24 of 26 of the British Grand Prix. It's currently your race leader, Callum, Vitinho, Stubbsy, closely followed by Oxtis. Dan hanging well there on the really second-hand soft tyres. Then we've got Yelneth in P6. He's got Burats all over the back of him. Burats surely going to have the tyre advantage come the end of the Grand Prix. We've got a change of position. Further down the order, we've got FS and Renzo going side by side. And FS is up into P11 now. So Callum pretty much got his head down, really optimised the pace, minimised the mistakes, and yeah, it's all coming good. Don't want to be a commentator's curse. Another 3 seconds there for Chris. Of course, penalties will play their part as the leader starts lap 25 of 26 of this Grand Prix, the penultimate lap of this race. And the battle of P3 still on. It's still on. Oxtis is still there, but he's using way too much of his battery. He should be storing it up, but he's trying to stay within DRS range of Stubbsy. Dan as well doing a really good job there in them soft tyres. And all this time, Yelneth is ever more. He's doing a great job on them soft tyres, and he's closing in as well on position 5 at this point. So if you can just claw it in ever more, you never know what the penalty is going to entail towards the end of this Grand Prix, and that can make you up multiple positions come the end of the race. So the battle to focus on pretty much now is this battle between Yelneth and Burats. And we've got Ganjal, Wiz and Kimi getting a bit close. Kimi's going to have a nice run here. Just touching the grass on the edge of Cox there. Coming down into Maggots and Beckett section. Ganjal Wiz getting a bit wide there. The harder compounder tyres, it should start to come towards him ever more. And we've got FS another 3-second time penalty. Going down into the late braking zone of Stowe. They get a nice drive on the apex here, good exit. Looking really punchy now, Kim. So we're going to cut away from this battle, because your leader has started the final lap of this Grand Prix. He's really controlled it. We've not seen too much of him, which is a great sign because it means it's been minimal drama for him. Then it's Callum, currently in position 1 of this Grand Prix. A really commanding performance. Currently 4th in your standings with 33 points. Then we've got Vitinho in P2. Done a really solid job. That one mistake really cost him crucially because it broke the DRS of the leader. And he was ever more in no man's land after that. Stubbsy, a valiant performance. He's still under pressure from Oxtis behind him, but Oxtis has not got much in the arsenal to really attack him. Come this final lap of the Grand Prix, only 5% ERS remaining. Can he do anything with the DRS on the final lap of this Grand Prix? Going to be really interesting now. Stubbsy getting a bit of a moment there. Oxtis not able to capitalise. Using everything available. And a bit more. It's not going to be enough. As your leader rounds the final corner, it's going to be Callum to win the British Grand Prix. Position 1 for him with a great drive. And there's Vitinho. He finished 0.3 seconds behind after the penalties there. Really tight finish at the end. And Dan now's jumped up to position 3 after the penalties on the soft compounder tyre. Really great stint towards the end of the Grand Prix. Wow. And apologies for the loss of comms there. We had a slight technical error right at the death there, just when you don't want it. And yeah, an interesting race, real strategy, a game of chess. And congratulations to our podium. Callum with an exceptional drive. That's going to bump him right up the standings, because it wasn't the best day at the office for Burats and Stubbsy Really made a late move there. That's going to keep him in contention. As our leaders get to taste the champagne, take this top step. The Williams boys there showing their dominance. 2 cars on the podium for Callum and PWR Dan there, who went into this Grand Prix both on 33 points. So bringing home a really good haul of points there for the Williams team. And as you can see, our race winner, he had a 1 3-second time penalty. And that was crucial right at the end there, because just brought it home just ahead of Vitinho, 0.3 seconds. Then it was PWR Dan who jumped up because of the penalties to Stubbsy and Ogsters there, and rounded out the final podium position. It looked like it was Stubbsy, but he had that penalty. Ogsters really a valiant drive throughout the Grand Prix, holding off Stubbsy, but Stubbsy managed to pull it off when it really mattered. Burap's a great recovery drive, you'd have to say, after that earlier incident as well. No penalties there, so that's given him position 6. Yalnif as ever started P14 up into P7, that is there, so really good position there for him. And he had 60 seconds of time penalties as well, and finished P7. Bowen in P8, Kimi in P9, and Renzo rounding out the points in position 10. We had Ganjawiz just outside the points in 11th. Some great racing for him. Of course, he had that incident as well, unfortunate for him, but a really good race. Enjoyed that one in Tier 1. Sorry we didn't have a co-commentator today. Sorry if it was a bit more flat because of that. We'll try and get him back for the next week. Had some connection problems, etc. The next race to look forward to is Germany, I do believe, at the Hockenheim, which will be another great race. Lots of overtaking opportunities there once more. And yeah, it's going to mix up the order with this Grand Prix. Callum's going to really rocket to the forefront in terms of the standings. But thank you all for joining once again. Another ABR, American British Racing Xbox League Championship. And congratulations once again to Callum. A great Grand Prix. Just brought it home by the skin of your teeth. And Vitinho really caught him, made him really honest towards the end of the Grand Prix there. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And we'll join you again for another ABR series very soon. Take care for watching. Bye-bye.